All right, let's try this again. Take 3. Welcome to episode number 2 of Big Mouth Willie Bass Podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Willis.
And I'm Matt Willis.
And yeah, so we have no idea if this is ever going to upload to YouTube, and if anyone is ever going to see this. We're hoping, again, this is our 3rd time that we're trying this. We tried recording twice on, was it Sunday night?
Yeah,
Sunday night. We tried recording twice on YouTube. The first time, the video just got lost into space, I guess. It disappeared out of thin air before I could even try to upload it. And then the second take, we got to, I believe, about 40% of it uploaded, and all of a sudden it just said error. And it would not allow me to try to re-upload it. All it gave me the option for was to delete it.
Yeah, technology these days.
You talk about being pissed off. So, we do have our original version of episode 2, our first take, uploaded on the Podbean right now. So this episode here on YouTube is going to be kind of an abbreviated, I guess, show you could say. We're not going to talk about everything that we went into in the original take. If you would like to hear that, again, it's available on Podbean. Just look up Big Mouth Willie Bass Podcast. So this is going to be a shorter episode, mainly because we have no idea if we're going to even get this uploaded or not. So I don't want to waste any more of our time. But hopefully this will work. And again, just follow us on Podbean as well. And hopefully we can figure this whole thing out and YouTube can help us out, because they certainly haven't to this point. It's been kind of a frustrating few days. And I mentioned on the podcast that we were originally going to record way back on Friday night. And that didn't happen because my wife and I got locked out of our bedroom and my phone was in there.
Can't make this stuff up.
So maybe somebody's trying to tell us something.
We should not be doing this right now.
I don't know. I really want us to do this show, but man, it has definitely been tough to this point. But hopefully it'll be smooth sailing from this point on. I mentioned this earlier in the Podbean version, but some people were kind of offended by the fact that I took a shot of whiskey. We took a shot of whiskey, I should say, to start off our first episode of Big Mouth Willie Bass Podcast. So today I'm going to start us off with me sipping out of my Batman sippy cup.
It's good water right there, huh?
This is straight up vodka. Low.
What a legend.
All right. So today we are going to be talking about Corona and how it has impacted us. We would also love to hear from you. Drop us a comment and let us know if you know anybody that's come down with Corona. Hopefully you don't personally have it, but if you know anyone that has it, if you've lost your job over it, we want to hear from you. And we're also here for you as well. We definitely send our best wishes to you, and just hang in there. We're going to get through this somehow. I know it looks pretty dim right now, but Matt, for us, Corona, it definitely has made an impact, but sort of in a positive way, because we've actually been getting more hours now than we ever did before. Matt and I both work at the same job, a country club here in San Diego, and they pretty much let everybody go out in the car barn except for us.
We're hardworking.
Oh, yes, that's the reason, us Willis boys.
We're at number 1 and 2.
We bring our lunch pail to the office. So yeah, we have been getting a lot more hours the last couple weeks. And this past Saturday, I worked a 12-hour shift, and you worked, what, 9 or 10 hours?
Yeah, roughly.
So we're definitely logging those hours in, so we're very, appreciative of that. But the one thing that is puzzling to us, other than the fact that we are just open still, is the fact that so many of our members are coming out to play. This past weekend was an absolute madhouse.
Yeah, it was the busiest day of the year by far, and I guess these old people just don't care if they could, they get the Corona or not. They love their golf so much, they're going to be there, and we still have our job because of it, but I think it's more likely that they're going to spread this around since there's such a large group of them.
Oh, absolutely. Because I would say, 95% of our members are over the age of 60?
Yeah.
So
absolutely. They're
kind of in that prime time age range where they're more susceptible to getting Corona. So yeah, it's very intriguing to me, very interesting that all these members are willing to just go out there with everyone else And look, they were using their own cart, so I'll give them that. They were at least being smart in that respect. But still, they were all like huddled around each other on the driving range.
Group hugs.
In the golf shop. They were giving each other smooches. And everybody had the same response when I'd pull up to their car when they'd pull up in the parking lot. The guys would all say, couldn't stand being home. My wife had me doing a million things around the house. Had to come play golf. Then later on in the morning, all the ladies showed up. Couldn't stand being home. Man, my husband, oh my goodness, I'm going to divorce him.
Yeah, it's just like the movie Liar Liar with Jim Carrey. They're all out on the course because they hate their husbands or wives. I mean...
Yeah, I guess so. These people seriously cannot function without golf. It's actually kind of sad. I mean, when I'm old and hopefully I'm able to retire, God willing, I hope that I could be in a position where I could golf maybe once or twice a week. But some of these people, I mean, they are literally out there every single day. Coronavirus or not, they are playing golf.
I mean, we love the game of golf. I mean, in fact, I think we should go out more often.
I wish we could. We can't now because we're working all the time.
But yeah, I do. It's crazy. It's crazy. Just
Well, I did work yesterday, and it was very slow, which was nice. I mean,
mostly because of the weather, though. It was raining here in Southern California.
It rained in the morning, but it was beautiful in the afternoon. So I was kind of expecting everyone just kind of flood in, everybody get on the phone with each other. Hey, get down to the course, the sun's out.
Well, like we said, average age is like 60, 65, 70 in that range. And, they don't want to stay up past their bedtime of 3:15 p.m. So,
What's wrong with playing bridge?
Bridge?
Yeah, the card game.
Oh, yeah.
Or they can play bingo or canasta or something. Come on, there's other things they can do other than golf.
No.
No,
I guess not.
Seriously, we are very thankful to still have a job, but it is pretty strange to us anyway that so many of these people are willing to just, endanger their own health or others' health and just being around that many people at once.
Yeah. What we would say, though, is that they have started to take precautions now. For instance, they closed down one day now, which is every Monday going forward.
Yeah.
They closed down the course, so it's kind of like, it's something, but at the same time, it's just like, well, that doesn't really make too much of a difference, really. But we still got a job.
Like we were talking about, I'm wondering if that's going to be kind of setting the tone for what's going to be coming up here.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to start closing on Mondays. Are they going to start closing on Tuesdays after that? And pretty soon it'll be 3, 4, and then it'll be closed all together. I'm not really sure what to expect. I keep telling Matt, just get as many hours as you can now because this time next week, we could both be out of a job.
Yeah, I gotta save our money. That's not for us, but for everyone. You gotta save your money.
Save your money and stay home, folks, if you can. But we would love to hear from you. What are your thoughts on the fact that our golf course is still open? Should we be closed for business, or should it just be business as usual? Because apparently that's what the members want.
There's been nothing different with our lives. We're just still going to work or still taking our classes. So, I mean...
Well, I'm not going to school anymore, but
still taking our
online,
classes.
But I still have to do homework. So yeah, in a sense, it has been the same exact routine.
Just no entertainment.
No sports.
No sport.
But speaking of sports, we still got you covered. So episode 1, we dove into NFL free agency. So the rest of the show, we're going to be pretty much talking about a couple moves that we didn't get a chance to talk about. There were a couple that we already mentioned on the original podcast in episode 2 that's uploaded on Podbean that we're not going to get into. So if you want to hear our thoughts on that, again, check out the episode on Podbean. For YouTube today, we're going to talk about Cam Newton and what went down with him and the Carolina Panthers this morning. But before we dive into that, I also mentioned in that episode about my hair, my new look.
Ooh.
But the thing on Podbean is you can't actually see us, you can only hear us. So here's my new look. Short on the side, long in the middle. Not a bad look. I'm actually kind of getting used to it. Our mother actually said I look like an Irish prisoner. Not really sure what to think of that. My mother-in-law likes it, though, which I think is always a plus. But the problem is what happened in the back. Yes. I forgot to put the clip on, the number 3 hair clip that I always use whenever I'm trimming out my hair. I just handed my wife the trimmer. She didn't think anything of it. I didn't think anything of it. Zoop. So here you go, real quick.
Here we go.
I'm showing it to you. Now, it doesn't look nearly as bad as it did a couple days ago, right, Matt?
I don't think the viewers would agree with that, but
Well, they're seeing this for the first time.
yeah, it's an all new look for you. I might stick though. I mean, that's what all the the popular kids might have. Once they go back to school.
I'm a trendsetter. That's what I am. So there's
there you
a
go.
better look because I don't think it looks like that right now, does it?
It looks pretty similar.
Oh, okay. Well,
Maybe
I didn't need to show you that.
I mean,
then.
you probably couldn't tell from the camera, but in person, it's growing back. It's good.
Yeah, little by little. My hair does grow back super fast, which is kind of why I'm not really sweating. And plus, at our jobs, I wear this beanie, so
Yeah.
I cover everything up. But yeah, so that's what went down last Friday. On top of the fact that we got locked out of our bedroom, so that was an
Well,
interesting.
I mean, aside from the back part, though, I don't think your haircut looks too bad. It's pretty good, actually.
Yeah,
Like,
I agree.
I
I actually kind of like the look. It's something different. At first, I was kind of like, I don't know, but like I said, I'm getting used to it.
Like I told him that he kind of looks like Brad Pitt from Fury. So
You know, just to prove that I actually like it, I'm gonna go and put my beanie right here because you're not
There
gonna
you
be
go.
looking at the back of my head the rest of the show.
trendsetter.
Yeah, that's what I am.
It's gonna be trending soon on Twitter.
I don't think so. All right, let's go ahead and dive into what we were going to talk about as far as NFL free agency goes. So, breaking news from a few hours ago, anyway. Cam Newton was officially released by the Carolina Panthers. His run of, I believe, 9 years there in Carolina. He was drafted in 2011. He's done. No longer a Carolina Panthers. Panthers, I believe, were trying to trade him away. And Ian Rappaport was actually reporting that the Bears and the Chargers, I guess the Panthers were talking to those two teams about possibly setting up a deal. Nothing came together, so the Panthers just flat out released them. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, that's not a shocker because they signed Teddy Bridgewater. So we already knew that they were going to move on from Newton. But just the fact that they weren't able to trade him, that definitely hurts them because they could have at least got some draft picks out of it. So
Yeah, we kind of touched on this in the first episode. The Panthers' handling of this whole thing was just really strange.
they overplayed their hand.
They did. They had no leverage whatsoever. I mean, I don't even know if the Chargers and the Bears were even offering them any picks, maybe like a 7th round, 6th round pick.
Yeah.
Because honestly, why would you offer the Panthers anything for him when clearly the Panthers are in a no-win situation here?
Yeah.
Where they come on and say, oh, yeah, Cam requested a trade and we're giving him permission to seek a trade. And then Cam immediately comes back and says, no, I never asked for a trade. What are you guys talking about? So the Panthers, there was literally nothing they could really do about this.
Yeah, miscommunication all around. So yeah, it's going to be curious to see where he's going to wind up now. Because a lot of those teams, they got their quarterbacks now already, like Brady to Tampa Bay, Rivers to Indianapolis,
Bridgewater to the Panthers.
Nick Foles to Chicago.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So yeah,
Well, that was going to be the second part of my question is where do you think Cam will ultimately land? Because there aren't a ton of teams, in my opinion, that are looking for a veteran quarterback at this stage.
yeah.
I mean, I think the Chargers would make sense because obviously they do need a quarterback, but also they have, the 6th overall pick in the draft?
Yeah, I think it'd pick someone up there.
So they're going to be able to get one of the top 3 guys, you would think, although you never know. I mean, Burrows, Tua, and Justin Herbert. I would have to think one of those 3 is going to be available at pick 6, so they're probably going to go in that direction. But if they wanted to bring in Cam for a year or 2 while the rookie sits, I could see that scenario. But the only other team I can think of off the top of my head anyway is the New England Patriots.
Yeah, I agree. It's a short list. Like Chargers, Patriots. I would say the Bears. I thought Newton would have been a good fit with Chicago.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think adding Newton now would be one quarterback too many.
Yeah, because like you mentioned, they just got Nick Foles from the Jaguars. And they, of course, still have Mitchell Trubisky, who I think they're definitely starting to figure out, maybe he's not going to be the guy.
Yeah.
But still, you're still paying Trubisky a lot of money, and Foles has a big contract.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to make a whole lot of sense for them to bring in Newton. Like you said, I think that's going to be one quarterback too many. But yeah, I'm just trying to think off the top. I mean, I think I mentioned in the first episode maybe Miami,
Yeah.
if they wanted to go that route. But again, I mean, we're pretty certain that they're going to take a quarterback early.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if there's really going to be a large market for Cam, unfortunately, which is sad because I personally really like watching Cam play. I know he's not the same player because he's just been battle tested, has
Lots
had
of injuries.
a lot of injuries to deal with in the last couple of years alone. But in his whole career, he's always been beat up. But yeah, I just don't know if he's going to get much more than a 1 or 2 year deal at this point.
Yeah, I mean, same thing for like other quarterbacks like Andy Dalton, Jameis Winston. Like, the market isn't that high right now for quarterbacks, surprisingly, because teams they want to draft, they want to get young, they don't want to get these has-beens, so to speak. So
And Cam's not even that old.
he's not, but he's had so many injuries though. So
I mean, I believe he's only 30 or
Yeah.
somewhere around there. But yeah, he's probably got the body of a 50-year-old at this point. So you really don't know what you're getting. I mean, I would be interested in taking a flyer on him for 1 season. Again, if I'm drafting a quarterback for sure in the draft next month and I need a veteran to bring in, I mean, Cam makes all the sense in the world. I think I'd rather have my young quarterback learn from Cam than I would from Jameis Winston, personally.
yeah.
But at the same time, what is Cam going to be asking for? Is he going to be looking for a big contract? Because the market for quarterbacks, as we know and we've already discussed, is outrageous right now. I mean, mediocre quarterbacks are getting huge deals, like Ryan Tannehill, for example.
Yeah, that's true, but I just feel like that there's so many teams out there that like they already have like a young quarterback in place where they want to find out more about him rather than just have him sit. Like Gardner Minshew in Jacksonville, Drew Lock in Denver, Josh Allen in Buffalo. I mean, we can ramble off so many teams that they got young quarterbacks in place, and just signing a Cam Newton or Dalton or Winston, it's like
It's definitely going to be a stopgap. I think that's really all it's going to be. I don't think anybody's going to be bringing Cam in thinking that they're going to get the Cam of old when he was the MVP of the league and he led the Panthers to the Super Bowl. I don't think that guy is ever going to resurface in the league again, unfortunately. But I do think you just mentioned Jacksonville. That could be an interesting spot for him because Minshew, he had a good little run last year when he got an opportunity when Foles went down, but then he started, defenses got film on him, and he definitely started to decline and play a bit there. So I'm wondering if Jacksonville might be a good spot for him to go.
I mean, I think it could be. I don't know if they think the same way, though.
Yeah.
Like, they just got rid of Foles, and they kind of... I mean, we haven't heard them at all from the insiders. They're not really talking about Jacksonville,
No.
drafting or signing anyone. It's kind of just like...
We don't know what Jacksonville's doing.
But...
Or should we start calling them the Londoners?
The Londoners?
Oh, wait, no, it's the Chargers.
Oh, zing.
So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I'm honestly a little surprised that it ended this way between Cam and the Panthers, but that's just how it goes in the NFL. What does it stand for? Not for long, so...
I tell you, I think these quarterbacks, if we're talking Newton specifically, I mean, you might just have to sign somewhere, like, if there's any team that just has a quarterback that isn't like a surefire thing, even if he's the backup to them, that might be his best option because every single year we always see quarterback changes, like a quarterback doesn't play good enough, they get benched. So maybe if he can take a cheap deal with Jacksonville, for instance, and Jaguars get off to a slow start, which they probably will, they can put Newton in, and there you go. He gets his shot again.
Right.
Take a 1-year deal.
Well, I'll tell you this much. If you get him on a backup deal, I mean, you're going to take that.
That'll be a steal.
Have Cam Newton be a backup quarterback for anyone in this league would be tremendous. So, yeah, I think he's definitely going to have to wait it out for a while. I don't know if anybody's going to jump all over him right away to sign him. But if he waits it out long enough, he could find himself in a pretty nice situation where he'll at least go to maybe a winning team.
Yeah.
Like, what if he went to Tampa Bay and bagged up Brady? I mean, I don't know if that's something that he'd be interested in doing. My guess is he probably still wants to be a starter, but you never know. I mean, if we do end up getting to training camp and he hasn't signed with anyone, I mean, he might have to just go that route and sign with a contender, and maybe he'll get a chance to play.
There's a couple of teams I just thought of, too. Maybe a team like Detroit, because, the Lions and Stafford, they haven't really done too much over the past decade, so maybe, quarterback competition similar to what the Raiders did with when they signed Mariota.
And there were rumors about Stafford wanting out of Detroit, which he, of course, has debunked and has said, no, I'd never said that.
Of course, that'll be tough trading his contract, as we just saw kind of with Cam Newton.
Yeah.
But, the Lions, they could maybe take a fly, or maybe the Redskins. They got a young quarterback in Haskins who kind of struggled. It's not entirely his fault, of course, because the Redskins are a very poor team. But
yeah, that rumor was also shot down because a lot of people were kind of making that connection with Washington because of Ron Rivera being there now as their new head coach, who of course was just there in Carolina over the last several years. So those two know each other well, but clearly I don't think Ron Rivera has a whole lot of interest. But again, if Newton stays out there long enough, why not bring him in?
Yeah. I think it's going to be a struggle, though, for these guys. It's unfortunate, but, just the market's no longer high. And I think Brady and Rivers, they made the right decision, just sign with someone immediately. And,
Well, plus those two are going to get a good deal, I think, regardless.
For sure.
But even still, it didn't seem like the market was that, large for either one of those guys.
Well, for Brady, it was just Tampa Bay and the Chargers.
As far as we know, I don't think the Raiders were really ever in the mix, at least not recently. And then if Rivers hadn't signed with Indy, I'm not sure where he ends up, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because we weren't hearing about anybody else talking with him or he being interested in playing with anyone else.
Two other teams I would mention, too, maybe for Cam Newton. Pittsburgh Steelers, New Orleans Saints. They both got two older quarterbacks that will retire soon. They could be the replacement.
Yeah, I've seen a couple rumors about the Steelers possibly taking a flyer on Jameis.
Yeah.
Which I think would be interesting because, Jameis Winston and Big Ben are both very similar quarterbacks. They're both huge guys for one, but they both have cannons for an arm. So I think that could possibly be a good fit. But I think Ben is going to be the starter in Pittsburgh next year. So if Jameis or Cam were willing, again, to take a backup deal, maybe a 2-year deal, for example, Big Ben retires after 2020, maybe one of those guys get an opportunity to start next season.
Yeah. Well, the one thing that they would at least have is a very good, organization, a lot of support, good coaching staff. So it's just they would have to, be willing to accept the fact that they're going to be sitting. And whether or not they're going to be willing to do that is, up to them.
We'll find out. All right, well, the last couple of things we wanted to note as far as NFL free agency goes, and we did dive into this on Podbean, but a couple running backs, big-name running backs, signing to short-term deals and not a whole lot of money. The first one we'll get to was kind of a surprise, mainly because he just signed a huge contract a couple years ago with the Los Angeles Rams, but that was Todd Gurley getting cut by the Rams and then immediately getting picked up by the Atlanta Falcons on a 1-year contract. But here's Todd Gurley, only 25 years old. Easily, you could have said 2 years ago, best running back in the NFL.
Yeah.
If not the best, top 3 for sure. And here we are now saying, man, could this be it for him? Could this be the end of his career? Because ever since he apparently injured his knee a couple seasons ago, the year they went to the Super Bowl, when all of a sudden McVay wasn't playing him as much and they weren't saying why, ever since then, Todd Gurley has not been the same player.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. He's like a 25-year-old with a 65-year-old body, It's just, it's rough for him and for the running back market as well. Just not many big contracts going around, and they just kind of have to take what they get at this point. So,
but at 25 years old, usually we look at the age of 29 and especially 30 as kind of the age of, okay, you're not going to see the same guy at that position anymore. And some of them just completely disappear altogether. Adrian Peterson, of course, has been the exception. He's probably going to play until he's 50, but he's just built differently. But yeah, the life of a running back is very short. We know this. So, yeah, I honestly feel like this could be Todd Gurley's last year of his career. If he does not get it together in Atlanta, and he's going to have an opportunity there because they just released Devontae Freeman. So they definitely have a need at the position, so you would think that Gurley is going to get a lot of playing time. But, yeah, if he doesn't get it together, if he doesn't show that he's recovered from his injury, that could be it. Who else is going to sign him at that point?
Unless if he's like a backup, But I do like the signing, though, for the Falcons, though. They did need a running back, and I still think that the Rams may have given up on Gurley 1 year too early. I think it's kind of a bad look from their perspective because they just gave him a huge contract, and he's how many years was it? Like 4 or 5?
Yeah.
And they just released him after one poor season. That's kind of a bad look at the Rams because other free agents are going to be looking at that and be like, I don't want to be cut so early on after one, down year. So.
Well, plus the Rams aren't going to have a ton of money to play with anyway because they just locked up Goff last year.
Jared Goff, Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
Soon to be Jalen Ramsey.
Not a whole lot more money there to go around. But yeah, it's just very puzzling to see a guy like Todd Gurley in the prime of his career just like that, man. I mean, it looks like it could all be coming to an end very quickly.
Like a Thanos snap.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we'll see how it works out in Atlanta. Again, I agree. I think it's a good pickup for them because what do you have to lose? Just a 1-year deal. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. It's not going to cost them anything. But I think it would be ideal for Atlanta to look at drafting maybe 1 or 2 backs in the draft.
Yeah.
That way Gurley's not expected or being expected to carry the ball 25, 30 times a game.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he's going to be able to do that anymore.
Yeah, it's for sure not a bad idea. But in all honesty, there's only a couple running backs in the NFL who are 3-down backs anyway. So I think regardless, Atlanta should draft someone 2nd, 3rd, 4th round.
Yeah, you need to have those 2 guys now. And speaking of which, going on to our next signing here, Melvin Gordon signed with the Denver Broncos, 2 years, $16 million. Did not ultimately get the contract that he wanted, but man, what a great situation for him and the Broncos. You pair him up in the backfield with Phillip Lindsay, who has been fantastic his first 2 years in the league. Mighty Mouse, as I like to call him. What do you think of that sign?
No, I think it's a great signing for both sides. Actually, I take that back. It's a great signing for Denver. Melvin Gordon did lose out on some money. Let's be honest now. But
yeah, because Melvin Gordon reportedly, anyway, turned down a deal that would have gave him about $10 million a year from the Chargers back when he was holding out into the season, the 2019 season. So looking back, he might be kicking himself a little bit, but at the same time, maybe he's not, because I don't know how on board he was about the Chargers moving to LA to begin with. There's been a couple of comments he's made over the last couple of years about obviously having no fan support and how San Diego is nicer than LA.
We like him for that.
Yeah, our guy.
Our guy.
But yeah, so I don't know how on board he would have been to stay with the Chargers regardless. I think if the Chargers would have completely overpaid, like offered him $12, $13 million a year, he probably would have accepted that. Matter of fact, that's probably what he was looking for anyway. But yeah, he still made out pretty well. I mean, he's getting paid $8 million a year for the next 2. Which I believe makes him the 4th highest paid running back in the NFL.
Yes.
So all things considered, I think Gordon still made out pretty well. And he's going to a really solid team.
Yeah.
It's going to be, I think, a perfect situation. The Broncos want to run the ball because they have a young quarterback in Drew Lock, who we mentioned earlier. They have a pretty solid defense still in place. I think it's a really good fit.
Yeah, I agree. Because you got, the smaller type running back in Lindsey, cuts really well and all that, and you got the power back in Gordon now. You can use him in the goal line because he's a touchdown machine.
47 career touchdowns, and let's not forget his rookie season he had 0 scores.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's basically 47 touchdowns in 4 seasons.
He has a nose for the end zone.
He does. Yeah, I'm a big Melvin Gordon fan, honestly. I'm honestly surprised that he didn't get more offers because it didn't sound like there were a lot of teams kind of in the market for him.
I heard Buffalo was interested in him, but
that may have been the team I think I heard offered him more or a better deal than Denver did, but I guess Gordon just really wanted an opportunity to play with Lindsey and, of course, play against his former team, the Chargers, twice a year.
He wants that revenge.
So I think I'm going to draft Gordon in fantasy.
Hell yeah.
Just because I know in those 2 games against the Chargers, he's going to rip off 200 yards on a few scores.
Right? Oh, he better. That's his obligation.
He's going to be motivated. But I think he's going to be motivated regardless, just because he's probably going to feel like he got disrespected. Didn't get ultimately the contract and the money he wanted.
Oh, yeah.
So I think he's going to be playing really just head down. He's going to be on a mission in the next couple of years. So look out for Melvin Gordon.
Motivation should not be an issue.
Absolutely.
So
I think for episode 3, Matt, for next time, we're hopefully going to get my buddy Randy Goodman to join us, who lives in Dallas, big-time Cowboys fan. He knows all the ins and outs about what's going on with them. Because the Cowboys, like always, storylines galore. They just had Travis Frederick, their all-pro lineman, retire unexpectedly at the age of 29. So definitely want to get his thoughts on that. And of course, Dak Prescott. I mean, just an ongoing saga there. Those two sides just cannot come together and agree on a contract. The Cowboys, of course, franchised him last week. So we just want to get Randy's thoughts on what's going on and how he sees everything playing out. So hopefully for next time, we'll get him on. And I'm hoping that we'll also be able to get my buddy Juan Villa on, who I've been talking about forever, it feels like.
Great man.
Great man. He's a recently registered nurse here in the state of California. And he's having a heck of a time finding a job because of the coronavirus, which you would think would be the opposite. But no, he's having a lot of difficulties at the moment. So we just wanted to get him on and get his thoughts overall on the virus and his own situation. So hopefully we'll have two guests lined up for our next episode. Other than that, please follow us on Twitter. I do remember my Twitter handle now. It's at Big Mouth Willie. That's at Big Mouth Willie. If you want to follow me personally, it's at Wacky Willis SD. At Wacky Willis SD. But follow our show page. It needs some love. I think we only have like 8 followers on there.
YouTube's the bigger deal anyway.
And yeah, let's just hope that this video gets uploaded. Because if it doesn't, I'm not sure what we're going to do. Until next time, I'm Ryan Willis.
And I'm Matt Willis.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.